Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Mike, as you probably know. And I want to tell you a story and pass on some information to you regarding all this APA stuff. And, I remember years ago when I got started, the, um, the first few things I read, I think, were textbooks. So I got underway with my doctoral journey. And then I started reading journal articles. And then I was, as you are being asked to, required to, was required to start writing in my very first course. And of course, like so many other people, I had no idea what APA meant. I really didn't even know what APA, the letters, stood for. It wasn't until later I found out it meant the American American Psychological Association um, decided upon a way to format or have papers submitted for publication that were standardized across the board for journal articles related to psychology and so on. And then that APA method has spread throughout social sciences and probably beyond. And as you know, that's what most colleges and universities use, or MLA, which is another kind of formatting style. But we use APA. So here I am writing my first APA formatted paper and hadn't a clue how to do in-text citations. I didn't know what the difference was between an in-text citation and a parenthetical citation. Didn't know when I had to reference something. I didn't know how to reference something. And it wasn't until later, much later, I think I probably was 2 or 3 years into all the agony of struggling with APA and getting feedback from my faculty who were saying, Mike, sooner or later you've got to learn how to write an APA and so on, so that you can submit a dissertation and graduate. So, and ultimately I did. It took a while, but there were a couple of things that I looking back, that I mastered. I got very good at least good enough for me to be satisfied, and most faculty members, and that was to learn how, in the body of the text that I was typing, how to cite some source, and then how to, at the end of the paper where it says references, how to create references that work. And I wanted to pass these on to you, so I've created a little short PowerPoint here on not all of it, but some of it from the APA manual that I think will come in handy. So glad you're here. Have a look, folks.
Okay, so let's start with in-text and parenthetical citations. Really pretty easy. Let's say that you were citing something you read in my book, and you wanted to give me credit for it. And so you noticed something I wrote, and you paraphrased it, and you said, Vandermark 2012 describes the difference between content and process. That's it. All that was really needed in the citation itself was Vandermark 2012. Let's go take it to the next step. Parenthetical citation. So notice Vandermark 2012 describes, built right into the sentence. Down here, here's the same, basically the same statement. Content is what is said, process is how it is said. And then at the end, the sentence is over. And at the end of the sentence, Vandermark 2012. That's the difference. In text means that the citation is built right into the text, by way of inserting it into the sentence as part of the sentence itself. Down here, the sentence is complete, then Vandermark 2012. That's an in-text versus parenthetical citation. If it's a direct quote, an in-text citation, we've talked about this, I did a previous presentation, there's quotation marks. In text, so it's still built right into the sentence. Vandermark stated, but here's a quotation mark. That's what I said. This is what I wrote, verbatim. Decisions, good or bad, occur as a result of your inner dialogue, the conversation between you and you. There's a closed quote, a space, left paren, P for page number, period. Space, the page number, right paren, period. And understanding how all of this looks and how it has to be put together is what gets you points and keeps you out of trouble and makes it easy. Down here is another in-text citation. It's just formatted a little bit different. Instead of saying Vandermark 2012, it's just Vandermark makes the point. Everything else is the same. And down here puts the 2012. So you've got an option. You can put 2012 there or there. But in both cases, you've got the author, the year of the publication, and the page number because it's a direct quote. All right? Pretty straightforward. Parenthetical direct quote. Here is decisions, good or bad, occur as a result of inner dialogue and so on. There's the sentence. It's in quotation marks. The sentence is over. It's finished. There's the citation. Right? Pretty easy. In-text parenthetical citation, same thing. Suppose there's more than one author. So I'm going to add Smith. Good old Smith. He came along. We wrote this thing together. Vandermark and Smith, the word and. This is in text. 2012 stated. There's the page number. Why? Because it's a direct quote. Here's another way of an in-text citation. Multiple authors. Vandermark and Smith make the point. There's the sentence. 2012, page 35. Now here's something that's really interesting. Parenthetical citation. Here's the entire sentence. Decisions, good or bad, occur as a result of inner dialogue, the conversation between you and you. Vandermark and Smith. Now look at here. If it's in between two parentheses, if the citation occurs between two parentheses like this, then you add, then you use an ampersand rather than the word and. Because this is part of a sentence, you have to spell it out. But now, this isn't part of the sentence. It's parenthetical. It's at the end. So you just use an ampersand. Isn't that something? Makes your whole day. Okay, suppose you have a citation, and down here we'll put a reference in just a second. In-text, parenthetical, but there's no identified author. Something like the handouts that you will receive, have received, and will continue to receive in University of Phoenix classes where there's no author. It's just University of Phoenix material. APA Manual, page 176. When a work has no identified author, cite in text the first few words of the reference list entry, usually the title, and the year. Use double quotation marks around the title of an article, chapter, web page. Italicize the title of a periodical book, brochure, or report. So it looks like this. In your post, let's say let's say the title of the paper is Leading Organizations, Structure and Innovation. And let's say you write this. Innovation is more likely to be inspired by leaders who demonstrate the transformational style. That's you. Those are your words. You paraphrased the words you read in the handout. And the way that you're citing it in text, you have, this is what I want to say, and then in parentheses, in quotation marks, right there, see it says double quotation marks, the first few words, usually the first few words, leading organizations, that's enough, in quotation marks, and the year, this should actually be 2013, that's a little typo of mine. Okay, in the article, Leading Organization Structure and Innovation 2013, this is another way you could do it. The authors point out transformational leaders are more likely to inspire innovation. Same paraphrasing, all you did differently in this case is spell out the article. The reference list entry remains the same. Leading Organization Structure and Innovation, University of Phoenix 2013, retrieved from, and this is probably the best, I think the best, retrieved from web address. There's the HTTPS LDR711A myresource.phoenix.edu. Okay, let's see. What's next? How to format a reference list. If it's a book, pretty easy. Author's name, initial. If there's more than one author, then you'd have Vandermark M ampersand Smith, comma T, period. Then 2012 period. Then the title of the book. Now notice the book title, they capitalize the first letter of the title and the first letter of the subtitle, and the rest, even though they're capitalized on the book, they're not capitalized in your reference list. Phoenix, Arizona is the location of the publisher and the publisher's name. Easy. Okay. Journal article with this DOI, which is a digital online indicator, or digital something that tells, I'm not sure what DOI means, digital online indicator, or I'm not sure. You have to look that one up. But what it does right here, it tells the user, the viewer, the reader, this is the identification number, this is the location, the identifier. I think it means identifier, digital online identifier, something like that. This is where it's found. As opposed to an article without a DOI, if it doesn't have a DOI, then you have to put retrieved from, and here's where it's found. But in both cases, this happens to be the same article, so let's look at it. Both cases, last name, initial, ampersand, last name, initial, year of publication. Now there's, look in the APA manual, what do you do if you have more than 2? You could have up to 7. Leadership with inner meaning, a contingency theory of leadership based on the worldviews of 5 religions. That's the name, the title of the article that was written by Krieger and Seng. This here, Leadership Quarterly, it's italicized because that's the manual where it was published. The journal where it was published, not the manual. Manual, journal article, a lot of these are similar. So, but here's the title of the publication. That's italicized. Alrighty. So down here you have volume and issue number, page numbers. There's the DOI, or in this case, the retrieved from. Okay, I think we're almost there. How to format your reference list if there's no named author. Particularly these kinds of handouts that the university provides with no author. For me, this is what I think will work for us. Certainly I haven't found anything that's more appropriate than this in my search. University of Phoenix 2013, there is the title of the article, and University of Phoenix material, LDR 711A class handout. If you put the entire, I guess you could put retrieved from and put the address up there, but actually this is, you could, I think you're fine to just put, you could probably put retrieved from, although it's a handout, not a web page. So anyway, if you use that, we'll be fine. That'll be fine for us. So, hey, I have given you tidbits of the APA rules for citing and referencing that I've used over the years that I think are probably the best to memorize. If you get these things down, your writing becomes so much easier. It really does. Here's where I found it. Citation styles, page 177 of the APA manual, reference examples by type. This gives you a whole list of different types of ways. How would you reference a journal article versus a book versus a court document versus an online web page, those kinds of things. Many, many different ways. And remember that the APA manual is not a book that you memorize. It's a reference book. It's a tool. Just like a toolkit, if you were to install a new shelf in your kitchen cabinet, you'd need tools. You need to, hammer, nails, whatever, the piece of wood, the brackets. I mean, the stuff that you can imagine that you would need. And you take your know-how and you use the tools. The same thing with the APA manual. It's simply a reference guide. It's a tool. What will help you immensely, and I'm here to testify, yes it was, and I'm here to say, it will help you immensely to just get really comfortable with what I've presented here, and immensely more, more immensely, if you visit pages 177, 198, and that part of the manual really, really will make it easy for you. So hope all of this has helped in some way, and I'll see you all on the threads. Take care.